Hi there, Scorpios, and welcome to your June reading. So, we're gonna get started here, alrighty? So, up first, I have for you the womb card, alrighty? So, already very, very, very powerful feminine energy coming through for your reading at this time, and it really is a beautiful energy to start off with because when you think about it, it's like you are sort of manifesting your way into this new life for yourself where you're no longer what's wrong. um so it's really like you are channeling in that very divine feminine energy, okay? And this is what's bringing in also this energy as well is the maiden, the mother, and the crow, and the three-headed dragon here. Okay, so I'm definitely getting like, Queen of Dragons energy here, and it's coming from a place of where like you're the mother of your creations, you're the mother of your power, and you are this beautiful energy that knows how to love and nurture and mother yourself, okay? And it's a very powerful energy that you create within yourself, okay? So we also have here the Magician card and Tiny Triumphs. Okay, so not only are you like unleashing your power here with this energy, but you are like awakening your inner goddess to make yourself feel better and draw in strength and courage from all of these beautiful, powerful like forces around you that are supporting you. It's not just there isn't just negativity and negative forces. There's also divinely guided, strong forces of energy that want to support you and hold you up. And it's in those triumphs, okay? They might seem small at first, but they're actually a lot bigger than you can ever imagine, okay? Or maybe you can imagine it. But this magician here, okay, she is drawing in her power, okay? She is a force to be reckoned with here, okay? So that's really, really powerful start to the month of June, okay? We also have here the Nine of Cups, okay? So we have the cat holding the bird. It's caught the bird in its mouth, and there's cups, flying around it, okay? So I'm going to read to you this meaning of this Nine of Cups energy right here, right now, at this time. So devour it. Ooh, I like that. Okay. The black cat with wild yellow eyes holds a bird in its mouth. 9 golden cups surround the cat, echoing the world card. 9 is the number of wish fulfillment. 9 is the 3 to the third power. And you can also see here this is a triangle which has 3 points to it. And you have the triple moon goddess energy coming from the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Again, the number 3 here. So Scorpio, you're really tapping into unleashing that power, okay? This is the card of getting exactly what you want. Ooh, I like that. The dark wood required sacrifice. What do you exchange for your heart's desire? We plan, strive, aim for our desire. We show up and do the work, and synchronicity occurs. That's why we're seeing the number 3 over and over again. We show up and do the work, and synchronicity occurs. Lucky breaks seem to happen when you lay the groundwork. We sacrifice to gain the things we want. We transform ourselves to reach our goal. Our desires lie outside the spectrum of who we are because in attaining our goals, we are required to grow and shapeshift out of previous incarnations. Brushing up against intention and making it real is the evolution of the natural world. The dark wood required sacrifice. What do you exchange for your heart's desire? We plan, strive, aim for our desire. We show up and do the work, and synchronicity occurs. Lucky breaks seem to happen when you lay the groundwork. We sacrifice to gain the things we want. We transform ourselves to reach our goal. Our desires lie outside the spectrum of who we are because in attaining our goals, we are required to grow and shapeshift out of our previous incarnations. Brushing up against intention and making it real is the evolution of the natural world and yourself. Okay? So, like, the cat is catching the bird here because it's like reaching that goal of catching a break, of like getting lucky, of seeing synchronicity happen. It's you obtaining your goals. You're not just thinking, of, a very narrow-minded, perspective anymore. You're thinking bigger than that. And that's what's unleashing this power within you, Scorpio, is you're no longer thinking like the small-minded, narrow-minded. I can only like use so many different descriptions here, but it's basically like, that there are people who are actually wrong, and there are people actually right, like ethically speaking, morally speaking. Anyways, so I'll get into that more later. But brushing up against intention and making it real is the evolution of the natural world in yourself. So if you set your intentions to be good and pure of heart and ethical and moral and for the right reasons, you're going to see success come quicker to you because you're aligning yourself with successful, intentional, good energy. Okay? There are people with bad intentions, negative intentions, and they do negative, horrible things to people. And they're misguided, and they're eventually, it's going to catch up with them, and they're going to have to do some sort of atonement. And sometimes they don't ever even do that. So you don't want to be one of those people. You want to be the person set on the true path here. Your wish comes true. Hidden ramification, treats and tasty delights, having exactly what you want, all the tasty bits. Yum, yum, yum. So, yes. So, I know it might not look delicious, okay, to you as a human, cat catching a bird, but it's just like a metaphor for you catching a break and like really enjoying like the fruits of your labor and all of your hard work and success coming your way. And that means going out to dinner at a nice place that you really enjoy the food there. Maybe um, okay, so we also have the shadow side to this card. Okay, so why do you want what you want? Okay, Scorpio. What lies at the heart of your desire? Has your dream been held for so long it is romanticized? It is unattainable? Have you fostered an identity around the struggle for such a thing? What would it mean to strive for something completely new? Can you become still and pleased with what you have before this very moment? Can you find pleasure in the color, sound, and texture surrounding you? Can you sense the bits of life and magic infused inside of you and outside of you? Can you feel the wildness of the given moment, the path that brought you here, the thousands of generations who lived so you can live and read these very words? Um, okay, so do you feel the sun rise and set inside you? Can you feel the moonlight shine through your eyes? You hold the answer. You are the answer. Will you let yourself be enough? And that really is like a lot of questions. But mainly here, though, the point that I'm seeing from all of this is like, can you really be truthful to yourself? Can you really go after what it is you want? And Scorpio, you're unleashing all your power this month. You are just going to be this beautiful, like, dragon queen goddess like energy, okay? Breathing fire. And I feel like what that means really is that you are no longer holding back what it is that you want to say, what it is you want to do, and you're no longer afraid of other people coming up against you saying like, oh, Scorpio, you can't do that. That's not allowed. It's like, no, it is okay to do what I'm doing. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with you just no longer putting others' needs above your own. Because I think in the past, like maybe last few months or so, you were really focusing on helping the people around you and supporting the people around you and doing like these acts of service to everyone else and pleasing everyone else and making sure everyone else's needs were met. And in return, you saw how you weren't getting your needs met. And so now you are refocusing on that and putting that as your top priority in this month of June, Scorpio. Okay? So now we're going to be moving on to some other cards. All right, so we have here present. Journey into the garden to escape two eternities, the past and the future. Okay, so looking here in the present energy, we have the King of Wands. Okay, somebody who is very courageous and strong and brave. You can see they have the support of their spirit guide, the lion, that represents strength and courage. They're holding a torch of fire here. So a very strong, courageous, masculine energy here, Scorpio. And I'm not, you could be, the gender thing here is like always a topic in tarot card reading. But sometimes, hold on a second. So depending on really what energy I pick up on for this, I really think this is like a very masculine energy, and that can be you could be drawing this from an actual person, or this could just be your energy, depending how you see it and how it resonates with you. And there's also, I noticed, like a little lizard on his t-shirt here, on his red t-shirt here, and red is the color of like fire and creativity and passion here. So it's almost like you're really blending like this strong feminine energy with this very strong masculine energy. Like you're almost being supported for being such a strong feminine energy and force, and you have a masculine energy backing you up. Whether this takes the form of a person or whether this is an energy from your past, like maybe you met like a role model in your life that had a very strong masculine energy, represented strength and courage for you. Maybe you're drawing from that, like inspiration, a mentor. Dreams, yeah. Oh my gosh, and look, even there's a tiger here too. So it's a wild nature, but it's you are in sync with this wild side of yourself, and it's almost like it's protecting you as you dream here. And this is a fairy, like she has like fairy wings here. So it's like it's a fairy is like a very like uh, delicate creature, right? And then a tiger is more of a like force, strong, brute like type ish energy, right? So creature. So it's very like you're very well like tamed, but you're like still like able to unleash this really fierce, powerful, creative energy everywhere you go. So I feel like on the outside you might seem maybe you're like of a petite nature like build, or you're like people often reference you as like a small person or a tiny person, or maybe you're just like very short in stature. Um, but you have still like the ability to like be fierce, be like a tiger, like roar like a lion. Okay. Um, yeah, let's see here. Romance, unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Yeah, I agree here, Scorpio. I think you're really on like a personal journey of self discovery here, and seeing how far you can go, how hard you can push yourself to your limits and beyond, and see what those are and explore that. That you're not really invested right now in having like a serious relationship. I don't think a serious relationship is happening for you now at this time, Scorpio. I mean, I could be wrong. You could be like this could just be like a new relationship that you're still trying to figure it out. But either way, I think the energy really here is like focusing on yourself and seeing your potential on your own as an individual and keeping that individuality. Okay, because when you get into a relationship, sometimes what happens is like you can get distracted with the nature of that relationship and how much energy and effort you have to put into something, and you might just not be emotionally invested right now into that type of uh, journey. Okay, then we have the Chariot. Yeah, Alice. Yeah, I mean Alice in Wonderland. That's a very dreamy esque reality here, and she's using a flamingo to with the little hedgehog here to play that game. What's that game called? I forget. But anyways, so it's like you are really like I don't want to say like you went down the rabbit hole, or you might not feel like that particularly, but I do think though that you are starting to see new layers and levels to what you are uncovering, like truths that you are uncovering about yourself, because Alice started off her journey as a very like young girl that didn't want to read a serious book, and then she went on a very serious adventure and learned about all of these different challenges that you have to go through in order to grow up and become more mature. And she didn't lose sight of her creativity. She didn't lose sight of that fiery, passionate, adventurous spirit that Alice's character incorporates. And she's also if you've ever read the book or seen the movie or anything like that, or even just by this image alone, you can see like she's a very tiny, petite, short little person. So it's like to go on this great big adventure, to have a great big adventure and see the world, but people view you and they see you by your outward appearance. They see an innocent little naive girl, or they see someone who's short and small and can't protect herself from, like, we all know that there's monsters out there and they take many forms and shapes, most of them. No, but seriously though, but yeah, like, you would think like Alice would be scared or timid to go out there and just see the world and explore for herself. Yet she does anyway, right? Yeah, and then also we have here veil of illusion. Lift the veils of illusion. Um, yeah, so okay, so we have here veil of illusions. Lift the veils of illusion, seeking truth beneath the surface to navigate through love and career authenticity. Or authentically, okay? Seek truth, embrace clarity as revelations unfold, keep an open mind for answers, illuminate the path to understanding. Yeah, I think some of you, this could be like really way out of like a field or something like that. But I think a lot of you might have rushed into a serious relationship prior to knowing like how serious it was actually going to be. Like not everyone can like predict that. Okay. Just take a look at my love life. But seriously though, like sometimes we rush because I'm getting like a bride when putting on a veil, kind of like Married at First Sight or Love Is Blind, like those types of reality shows. Okay, where Love Is Blind. These are very mainstream shows, like you can watch them on Netflix. But I'll just give you like a brief little summary or whatever of like what these shows are like. Basically, like Love Is Blind is set up to be like basically, women and men meet each other in these pods, is what they call them, and there's a wall between them. So they're trying to connect on like an emotional level without ever seeing the person, and then get engaged. And then once they agree to be engaged, then they meet each other for the first time. And sometimes after they meet each other for the first time, the guy or the woman, depends on who it is, it could be either or, might have had an actual good emotional connection with that person prior to seeing them in real life and seeing their physical appearance. And then all of a sudden, like, chemistry starts playing a role, and like the sparks aren't there. They're not feeling the physical connection and chemistry. They like this person maybe as like a friend, but they can't see themselves ever in like a romantic relationship with that person. Um, so that's just like one example of veil of illusion, okay? It's like you might have connected with this person at one time over something or a couple of things or whatever, many things even. But then over time, that there's nothing there anymore. I don't like the chemistry is gone or whatever. Like on honestly, like I'm seeing like seeking the truth here is gonna really play a role because I think you're really not like invested in like finding like a person right now and like romantically, like you're really more invested in like starting a career and trying to like get that up and running. And maybe you got married too soon, or you got into a serious relationship very quickly and you fell into it really quickly. Married at First Sight, that's the title, just gives that whole show away. These two people meet for the first time at the altar, and then they get married, and then if they don't fall in love with each other after that, they get a divorce. Okay. So I think that kind of could be happening for you at this time. It's like you're like, you know what, I really want to put my energy and focus into my career and unleash that power and see that full potential play itself out. And I don't really want to put in a lot of emotional investment right now into a person, into finding a romantic partner. So I think that's kind of what's happening here. Manifest your wishes. Yeah. Manifest your wishes. Wishing for, a new good things to come your way for sure. I see that happening for you, Scorpio, and that has again a lot to do with unleashing your power and seeing your full potential. Yeah. Okay. Five of Wands. Yeah. Strife here. There is. Look at the star that, like the pentagon here, that these wands make over the flames. Yeah. So there is. There is somebody here, I think, who is really playing a huge role in causing maybe some chaotic energy, like throwing it your way, sort of maybe trying to throw you off a little bit. But again, you can use that towards your advantage, right? If you think about it strategically from a strategic standpoint, it's like if this person really enjoys throwing chaos my way, I'm going to throw some right back at them and see how they react. And I can guarantee you 9 times out of 10, that person's going to be shocked that you're able to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like those people who can, like, uh, they can, like, stir up drama, right? But they can't take it, like they can dish it out, but they can't take it. Those types of people. I think you're dealing with a personality like that, or a couple of different personalities like that, maybe even, right? Like nobody nobody likes to have drama thrown their way, but sometimes these people just try and try and try and try and try and try, and they just never stop. Okay, so sometimes it's good to know that's what's going on there. Yeah, connect to heart, Knight of Swords. Okay, you have a guy jumping on a bike. You have connect to heart. You have the 2 dogs and the moon here. So I think you need to just be loyal to yourself and trust in yourself at this time. And maybe jumping on that motorcycle bike and leaping toward or running toward, um, yeah, so I think running towards this, like, adventurous spirit inside of yourself is going to be really key here, because you're connecting to yourself. You're connecting to what it is that you want. Oh yeah, look, paradox. That's the great paradox. It's like when you leave behind people who are trying to stop you from connecting to your heart, connecting to unleashing your power. Um, you're sort of creating this, like, you are creating a paradox here, because you started off a connection with someone or something or people that they felt, you were going to play a certain role there, you were going to fit their agenda, you were going to fit their narrative, and you left that behind and you went out to seek your own, like, glory or your own fame or your own success, and that is just, like, not okay with them, right, but, like, it doesn't matter that it's not okay with them, because it's what your heart is calling you to do. And that's creating that paradox, is now you can see what everyone else wanted you to be versus what you want it to be, and you see how you're being pulled in different directions. But ultimately, what's going to happen? Oh, the devil's reaching out to you, saying, "Take my hand, right? I'll show you the way." Most people will be scared of this, right? This is a very spiritual, like, masculine energy that's got the strings attached to this person here, right? And this person is in, like, agony and pain. So you have to be, like, cautious and careful here. If you are making a deal with the devil that isn't really going to be serving your greater good or your higher purpose. Yeah, it's saying vision. Get clear on what you want, right? Because if you're not clear about what you want, you're going to end up getting burdened down again. 10 of Wands. You're ending up carrying more than you can carry. Okay, so this is really a time for you to, like, understand yourself better. Ace of Swords. Yeah, listen to yourself. Trust in yourself here. Okay, you have the sword and you have it's like, it almost looks like a quill pen or something like that. The pen is mightier than the sword. So you need to stand in your power, and you need to draw strength and courage from your own inner self and your inner knowing of what it is you want. And I feel like there's, like, a writer in you, an artist in you, something in you wants you to tell your story. The Sage, okay, and the Lovers, the Swan here. Okay, so I feel like there is someone out there in the world that does understand who you are and gets what you're about. You've got the Animal card here. Again, that's, like, again, unleashing your power, unleashing your, like, animal side or something like that, your tiger side, your lion side. The Emperor, dependability, authority, structure, abuse of power, paternal issues, and inflexibility. Yeah. I think a lot of you probably grew up with like a father figure or masculine figure that was very like destructive and wasn't very supportive of you, and you were led to believe that this person loved you or cared about you, but they were like a monster inside or something like that. That's like a very extreme uh, description of the energy that I'm feeling right now, but I think some of it does apply because it taught you like you needed to be scared of yourself. You needed to be scared of that part of yourself that can protect yourself and stand up for yourself. And it's okay to be assertive. It's okay to be an authority figure for yourself. It's okay to have structure and take accountability, right? As long as it's in balance and harmony. And you can see here, he also has the triple moon goddess like tattoo on his arm, and he also has like a pentagon here on his staff. Okay, so when the wands, like the five of wands, is like it could create strife when there's too much inflexibility, when there's too much abuse of power. And I feel like a lot of masculines will abuse power. A lot of masculine energy in your life. You've come across a lot of masculines in your life that have abused power because they are males, or you've come across a lot of like male figures that even maybe your own father that was like, oh, what I say so goes, and you're like, wait a second. So then when you find yourself in a relationship with someone, you come across somebody who might be acting that similar way to what you saw in your own father and the other toxic males in your life in the past, and you're like, in the past you would be like, oh no, I'm a timid, shy, little person. What can I do? But you really can be like, no, enough is enough, and like you can sort of like suss it out, like you can sort of detect it out, or find, like you can sense it. That's where I'm looking for. You can sense it. Okay, so your senses of this energy are really coming through right now. And look, we have the Empress too. Nurturing fairness and growth, neediness, creative blocks, and coldness. Yeah, I think a lot of you might have had a mom that was like very needy. She always needed attention, so she was never able to give attention to you. And also creative blocks. I feel like you might have had a mother figure that, like under the surface, very creative person, has a lot of very good ideas and very artistic sort of mindset, but she never really wanted to fully go there or fully incorporate that into her life. And I feel like a lot of that had to do with her own generational like trauma and stuff, where she wasn't supported in her creative endeavors, even though she's a very creative person by heart. But she never, maybe she viewed artists as like penniless paupers or something. You can't make money in the arts, but that's not true, right? It depends on your perspective and depends how much work you put into it. And then you have coldness. And I think you might have, because your father was like abuse of power, that in turn made your mother like cold towards you, or maybe she had a father figure that was, abuse of power towards her, so then she became cold herself. And I feel like you try to steer away from that, but that's like the energy right? That's the energy you're familiar with. So it feels natural or normal, but it also stunts you from really tapping in and unleashing all that potential and all that power of goodness and accomplishing success in your life, Scorpio, because you're copying very negative behavior. So you're going to be attracting negative energies. Okay? Nurturing fairness and growth. Okay? And even if you have negative energies coming at you, it's how you deal with those, right? How you take back your power when it's being trying to be taken away from you, right? Nurturing fairness and growth. Yeah, offering nurturing fairness and growth into a situation, okay? So as you get through, these next couple weeks here, enter into June, or if it's already June when you're watching this, 10 of coins here, okay? Inheritance, financial security, and family. Okay, so a lot of good, successful, positive abundance, good positive energy coming your way that you are deserved for a long time to come is now coming your way. And just be careful of financial collapse, money disputes, and family fallout, because those things do occur and they do happen. But again, it's like when you know and recognize that like there are negative things that exist in the world and how you can overcome them and how you can maybe even try to avoid them sometimes. It really depends on the situation. Sometimes things are just like very like unavoidable, but if you can master that, then you start to see yourself in a new light, in a new way. You start to see your real true potential and your power and your strength and your courage, and you start believing in yourself and trusting in yourself. um, so that is the message I have for you, Scorpios. I hope you enjoyed. Love and light always. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.